As we study the Bible's teaching on God, there are a number of times where it seems like we come across contradictions. This is especially true when it comes to the doctrine of the Trinity. You see, many people are naturally confused by the doctrine of the Trinity, the teaching that there is one God who exists as three persons. What I want to show you is that while the Trinity is confusing, God doesn't ask us to believe in a contradiction. Let's begin by saying that a contradiction is a combination of statements that are opposed to one another. So, for example, a contradiction would be that there is one God and there is not one God, or God is three persons and God is one person. In each of those instances, there are two statements that both cannot be true. You can't say that there's one God and there's also three gods. That doesn't make any logical sense. Fortunately, the Trinity is not a contradiction. The Trinity is a paradox. The Bible is telling us that the nature of God is a mystery, but this shouldn't be troubling to us as long as we understand that each aspect of the mystery or paradox of the Trinity is affirmed by Scripture. The Bible clearly teaches that there is one God, God is three persons, and each person is fully God. We've got videos that explain this in more detail. But right now, it's important to understand that each of these statements is clearly taught in Scripture. There are many verses that affirm each one, and together they form the doctrine of the Trinity, which, when we put all this together, is a paradox. It's a mystery to us because it's far beyond our understanding. And this leads us to the real issue. We will never understand everything about God. As finite beings, we're never going to fully understand an infinite God. Look at what Job 36:26 says. God is greater than we can understand. We will never fully understand God. Even after thousands of years in heaven, after millions of years with God in heaven, we will never fully understand him. Our God, the God of the Bible, is more complex than we can ever conceive of, and that's okay. Instead of worrying about paradoxes like the Trinity, we should learn to embrace them. When rightly understood, the doctrine of the Trinity and other paradoxes about God cause us to worship him. And that's a very good thing, and that's the proper response when we learn about the character of God. Go ahead and pause the video and discuss some of these questions.